about surprises, upsets, sadness, madness. But GaRpY cypher. Let's slowly start diving into this one again. GaRpY, no set wins, struggling a little bit. I think he just put up his first map win last week. What does your countryman have to do to get on the board here, Lethal? What's the problem? Not enough tea? Too much
Possibly.
tea? I don't know. You let me know. I don't know.
Not enough tea, not enough crumpets. It could be numerous things for we like at this moment in time. But like I said before, GaRpY, it's been a while for him. He's only been in the Pro League for the last 6 weeks. He's only played a handful of matches. It takes a while to kind of get on board exactly what's been going on and trying to ease yourself back into the Pro League again. Like some players will have to jump straight in and do pretty well. Some, they don't. And we know how strong the EU region is anyway, because it's been such a long time since GaRpY has been back in the Pro League. But against a player, against the likes of cypher, it's going to be very, very difficult. cypher is, eager to get another series win underneath his belt. He's had so many close series 2-1 against a few of the players over the last few weeks. And I think now is the time for him to get another series win underneath his name and try and get higher up on that leaderboard. But for GaRpY, what does GaRpY need to do? What strengths and weaknesses does he have? What strengths can he use to try and at least take down cypher in any way if he can? It's the fact that with GaRpY, he has very good balance, like I mentioned earlier, during the scheduling. The fact it's good offense and defense. He not only keeps it calm and passive, sometimes it can be a little bit too aggro when he's trying to chase down a kill. Or maybe there is some issues on spawn where he can get caught off spawn very easily. Sometimes chooses the wrong 50-50 when he tries to get away or try and restabilize with the weapons in his arsenal or for the item control. Can give away some items quite easily when it comes to actually contesting him. But cypher, I still feel like for him, he's actually been playing really well. It just hasn't been his day as of yet.
Yeah, why don't we get into the pick bans and see if GaRpY can maintain an edge or, get an edge via the pick bans. As we look, and Corrupted Keep right off the bat, we got Sorlag versus Galena, and then Exile, one of my personal favorites, Doom versus Anarchy, and then we're going to round it out with Ruins of Sarnath, BJ versus Ranger. Do you see anything there that could give GaRpY the potential advantage?
I want to say yes, but actually I'm more siding on a heavy no, just due to the fact that for cypher, he's done the correct bans I was hoping for. So GaRpY, his best maps so far this stage has been Veil and Deep Embrace. Veil was probably a little bit better for GaRpY. He's banned it straight away. And then as his second ban, he's banned out Deep Embrace straight afterwards. GaRpY, I've seen him scrim Wenger a few times in the past, playing against him on Deep Embrace, and he looks very, very strong. But the fact that GaRpY hasn't got his best maps, it's a bit worrying, but at the same time, what makes it even worse is the fact that GaRpY has selected Exile. Maybe on Exile, GaRpY is also very, very good, but I feel like the cypher is actually one of his best maps in his pool this stage. I'm not too sure why. I think it's more to the fact that cypher has been establishing himself as one of the best players whenever a new map does occur in the Quake Pro League. For example, Tower of Koth, he was one of the very few players who would select that consistently, try and establish the meta on it. And he's done it for Exile. He seems to be the most dominant player on that map. And the fact that GaRpY selected it for him, a little bit worrying for GaRpY, I would say. So we'll have to see what happens throughout the series.
Maybe just some massive confidence coming out from the British Bulldog. Who knows? But predictions have started. Lock in your points. Gamble away your life savings. As we're slowly going to dive into this one, cypher versus GaRpY to kick off the day is going to be a magical set, Lethal, on a magical day. I think cypher seems to have the problem that Toxic had, if anyone remembers Toxic out there, where he the sets are really close. Some maps he's ahead, and then he just slowly starts to kind of throw it away and lose it at the very end. I think this is going to be the set where he comes out, stamps a victory. I think it might be 3-0. No disrespect to GaRpY, but I think this is going to be kind of a confidence builder for cypher, where he's like, I need to put this set up to prove to myself and to everyone else that I'm still here. I can still play. I mean, tough set against Wenger last week. It could have gone any which way, but unfortunately he dropped it, and I think this is going to be the bounce back week for cypher.
It certainly will. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 3-0 just from the map picks alone. The champion picks, not 100%, but just the map picks alone. Veil is banned. Deep Embrace is banned. So that's GaRpY, get out of jail free card to try and get a series. That's not exactly going to help at this moment in time. But, what can he do? He even selected Exile, which is, I would say, again, cypher, one of cypher's better maps. But GaRpY clearly feels confident. He's done his research, but the fact that he selected it over cypher must be thinking, what's going on here? He selected Exile for me. That was nice of him, wasn't it? That means I can select a different map for my choosing as the third and final map. But, it's going to be at least a 2-1 for cypher, I would say, just as an early prediction.
Well, I think it looks like Chad agrees with you, as we're going to get into this one first to kick off Valentine's Day Quake. GaRpY versus cypher on Corrupted Keep, and we are live right now.
Yeah, very excited to see what GaRpY can do. I mentioned it earlier, but the maps aren't in his favour, heavily in favour of cypher. But we'll see if he oozes in confidence throughout the series. So GaRpY just standing his ground for now, as cypher does have the edge in terms of stack. But what's he going to be doing with the totems? This is going to be the next question. If he's going to use it just for info, see if he can get an overstack later on. Very difficult on Corrupted Keep, but we'll see what we can do. But he's just playing it safe, playing it passive, waiting for him to make the mistake in terms of the audio cues to see what he's up to. But he's going to prioritise the heavy and let him get the mega.
So doing a good job of getting the mega. Finally getting rockets. I wanted to see GaRpY defend those a little bit more. cypher getting rockets nonetheless. Needs to watch out for that totem, and he's just going to face check it because he has such a big stack, so that's fine. Relatively slow start to this game, but I think advantage goes to cypher just given the stacks being so close and that spit being so deadly. Get up close and personal, it might be real bad. A little bit of LG knocking GaRpY down to the low ground. That's going to be bad as the drop happens. He pushes him into the mega with his LG. Little Valentine's Day gift there from cypher. Goes through the telly trying to find some more damage. Up the jump pad goes GaRpY. Good dodge there, making sure he doesn't take any unnecessary LG damage. So again, a bit of a stalemate. Is cypher doing a good job of controlling at least one of the small armors.
Oh, speaking of the LG, cypher has had a fabulous LG consistently last week against Benga. He was unstoppable. His tracing aim was really, really good. Just couldn't close it out, but looks like it's equally as good during this game. But GaRpY's been caught off guard from the side. So he goes up banana, but he's going to try and get away. As you can see, this cypher goes into the red room. He knows how weak GaRpY is. He's going to try and close out here. Nice direct from GaRpY to maybe get a trade frag, but I don't think that's going to happen. This cypher's already recuperated, almost back to his default stack, and realised that GaRpY could be around that LG spot. Throws on the totem down to see if he gets some info. He does get a little bit of info. Desperately needed that, as cypher is going to back away and go for the heavy.
Very, very clean mega for GaRpY. It's a big pickup. Good cess damage there from the machine gun, but cypher has one of his own firing back. LG on LG. GaRpY doesn't want it. 50 HP is going to grab 225s and drop down. Dire Straits right now needs to be careful as cypher still has a pretty good stack to work with, but he's going to get floated by GaRpY. Good damage coming out. cypher trying to battle for this mega. Doesn't want to give it up for free. One rocket will miss, and he has to concede. 77 HP for cypher. Very weak. 41 down to the heavy, and GaRpY right on time. Steals it away. 1-1. Well done to GaRpY.
And look at this. The items are segregated. This is perfect for GaRpY. As even though he's tied things up, he can definitely contest this mega with ease. It's not come up in the next 10 seconds. But it does have him trapped. He could switch to heavy machine gun if he wants to, but no, he's going to choose the LG anyway. Takes him down. Mega will be for free in the next 3 seconds. I think you can see cypher's going to try and trade that, but he has gone for it and manages to get it. So GaRpY, not in the best of spots here, only an 8 with that shotty. He needs to back away. The heavy is up though, but look at this. Already things have turned around completely in the opposite end of the spectrum as GaRpY's trying to do everything he can to get away. Only on 27 HP. The totem will help a little bit, but it needs to pick up these lights as there's one in front of him, may be able to get away. And as I was saying that before, I was thinking GaRpY was doing okay for the first few minutes. You know, he had a very good defensive posture, just waiting to see what cypher was up to and what his next plan of action was going to be. But now cypher has tied things up and has a fantastic stack to work with to try and take GaRpY down for his next frag.
Just a really good stack there. These rockets from GaRpY just not quite defensive enough, not getting the damage he needs to deny the push from cypher. cypher denying the lower armor, then going to the heavy, and he has the upper armor at his back if he wants it. He's going to drop down, get the mega, so full item control for cypher, just taking complete control of the map as we get closer to the midway point here. Going through the choke point, does get some rocket damage. GaRpY almost hits a beautiful midair, but he's so weak after that engagement. He can't do anything, and cypher can just run these items for another cycle, and this might be really bad as he has time to hunt, catches out GaRpY in the red room, almost paints that red room with even more of his blood, catches him outside of banana, takes the frag lead, off the spawn. GaRpY in dire straits again, going up the jump pad into the shotgun, forced back with the LG. 4-2. cypher looking to open this up even more. GaRpY is in a bad way right now, dodging that rocket pretty well, but the LG is going to be too strong. Good direct rocket, needs more of that. Cypher's going to maintain position and grab that heavy, but GaRpY just trying to hit and run, stay alive right now. It's not looking good. Does get the upper armor, but Cypher's just dominating right now.
Cypher's taking down all the totems, keeping GaRpY on the back foot. Now the problem with GaRpY now is with the saw lag, he needs to be careful with the mobility. He can definitely like come up behind you very quickly from the flanks. He's not really expected it a couple of times, and that's how he's lost a couple of those frags beneath him. Cypher though, going to be picking up the heavy, still looking very, very healthy. He can take him down at any means necessary. He's trying to find out where he could be as he's going to be eating up the light in the red room, and realise that there's a potential chance that GaRpY could be top mid. He finds him. Still has his active ability. He's just going to try and keep him away to basically say to GaRpY, this is my mega. There's no way you can contest it. And if you do, then you're just going to get taken down straight away. But good heavy machine gun from Cypher. Just keeping him at bay as GaRpY tries to heal up. Still no armor to his name as Cypher's just been eating up all the lights. He's going to be leaving the heavy though. A little bit too late for it, but I don't think it matters too much here as he can back off for the light anyway. He could try and go for the one in red room too, which should be coming up quite shortly. There it is. And we'll have to see what GaRpY could do now. The stacks are almost equal, so this could be GaRpY's opportunity to try and make something happen. But as I say that, Cypher has already picked up the mega, so again, not looking too good for GaRpY.
Tip down below. GaRpY trying to rain down rockets from the top of the jump pad. Wisely swaps to machine gun to maximize damage potential there. Cypher can comfortably fall back to the heavy. GaRpY just needs to get a little bit better at trying to get unreturned damage here. These fights leave him weak. He can't contest the items. Only down 2, but he just needs to find some sort of an opening as the spit's going to be back up for Cypher. Drops down for the heavy armor. Cypher firing a warning rocket as he doubles back to Mega and says, this is fine. I have a 2 frag lead. I'm okay with what's happening here. Good cess from GaRpY. Catches Cypher off guard ever so slightly. 3 minutes left in this one, lethal. Do you think Cypher's just going to hold on? Is he comfortable with a 2 frag lead? He doesn't really have to make a play.
He doesn't know, and GaRpY is the one who needs to start playing a bit more aggressively soon. He's still got a few minutes to play with. You know what, to keep his life. It could go completely out of hand. But Cypher's just keeping tabs on all the items really well. But you can see GaRpY is trying to contest the items the best he can, but with Cypher's stack in every engagement, he's not really making much progress. But I kind of feel like at the same time, GaRpY is doing a good job making sure the scoreline doesn't get out of hand. I feel like it could have been like 10-2 by now, but GaRpY's doing a good job just making sure that doesn't happen. But now this is where matters is going to get worse. 2.5 minutes left. Cypher has a 3 frag lead. GaRpY's just realised he's gone through for the heavy and gone through the telly, and the items are still perfectly segregated for Cypher. So again, GaRpY needs to be a bit more aggro in terms of pushing for these items, or at least try and do some damage with the rockets and heavy machine gun from medium range. But it's not looking too good. 2 minutes left, and GaRpY needs to start taking, some high risks and gamble a little bit. But will he be able to hit? It doesn't look like it as GaRpY tries his best, but instead GaRpY is the one who gets taken down, and Cypher with a 4 frag lead with only a couple minutes remaining.
Yep, Cypher doing a great job locking GaRpY out, doing the damage, making sure GaRpY can't even contest for the items. If you can't get the items, it's one thing, but if you can't even show up to deal damage with the items, it's going to all spiral out of control as that rocket sends Cypher flying to the heavens here. But the spit connects with GaRpY. He's going to be able to negate that with a health bubble, but still extremely weak. And it's almost been the story of the series. GaRpY just no armor to his name. Struggling to get anything going here. Cypher maintaining his dominance. 4 frag lead. Might get another one here as GaRpY. The jump pad very risky. Doubles back. He has no choice. He has to try and get some damage. Cypher cleans that one up easily. 5 frag lead. 1 minute left. I think Cypher is going to be happy with this performance.
He certainly will indeed. It's very hard to play against the kind of passive posture which GaRpY has. And you can see that Cypher hasn't really been, taking too many risks, just biding his time, waiting for the moment to happen, and he has done every time with the heavy machine gun and just going over the LG, and he's just done a great job of making sure that GaRpY actually feels as uncomfortable as he can be. But GaRpY, he really did try 6 frags deficit. He won't be able to do much here, just see what he can do. But look at the item control from Cypher. 27 items taken and 20 lights versus the 10 of GaRpY. That kind of says it all really, where Cypher just been contesting almost every single one. GaRpY, half the time he made the attempt, but just got there either a little bit too late or just didn't really have enough damage output in order to finish Cypher off.
Trying to get some consolation frags on the way out of cypher's extremely weak. There he is. Picks him out of the sky. Get that confidence going, GaRpY. And yeah, I think you're right. The story of the game was cypher just dealing the right amount of damage to pretty much get free items most of the map, leaving GaRpY on the back foot without armor for, I'd say, over half the map, unfortunately. But cypher takes that one, puts it in the bag. And again, I think he's walking towards that 3-0 to put his stamp on it and say, you know what, this is the bounce back week.
And this is it. Like, cypher, he only had 151 more damage. So, you know, GaRpY was making the right plays. It was just a little bit, I wouldn't say too slow, but just was a bit too patient for the items, especially for the mega. The turning point for me was the fact that when GaRpY had full item control, he had to stack. When he let that one mega go around the 3 or 4 minute mark, that was when, I wouldn't say game over, but just giving your opponent a straight up huge advantage, because by then the items were too far segregated for cypher to actually be able to just pick up and then just do anything he wants by any means necessary. But one thing I will say for GaRpY is the fact that it could have been a lot worse. When someone's that kind of got that mass control, you know, the map control, the item control, everything you want and Corrupt to keep, it's very easy for the scoreline to go way in your opponent's favor. Like, I feel like it could have been a 10-2 or 12-2, depending on the circumstance of how GaRpY plays, but he still kept the same posture, just a little bit too slow or a little bit too patient for some of the items when he tried to bully cypher for them, especially for that mega.
Yeah, it can always get worse. It can always get worse here in the Quake Pro League. So I think GaRpY, as you said, it's tough to play against a heavier stack champion, because you have to be very conscious of doing more damage at every item, knowing that they're going to have that stack, especially even when you get that frag. If you're very weak, I mean, we talk about it week in, week out, the stack on these heavy champions is rough off the spawn. So even if you get a frag, you're already down. So you have to try and get the cleanest damage, the cleanest kills you can, time the fights around the item so you could recoup as fast as you can. And cypher just did a great job of doing the damage he needed to do to make sure GaRpY was nowhere to be found at the items, and then you stack those items, and then you're Sorlag already, you got the spit, and that's the way the map's going to go. But hopefully GaRpY can bounce back on Exile, take us to 3 for the series, but we'll see. Cypher probably trying to lock this one away 2-0 right off the bat. Does GaRpY have a chance on Exile?
I still think it's one of cypher's best maps from what we've seen so far. He's slowly establishing the meta as we go forth, and every time he's played Exile, he's won, no matter what opponent is. He did it before with Tower of Koth, where he tried to establish the meta on that map too, and he's been playing that quite a lot. So he seems to enjoy the new maps quite a lot and just try and make something of it, just to try and catch your opponents off guard. But the fact that GaRpY selected Exile, that's yeah, that's a bit strange, but I assume he knows that cypher's really good on it, but maybe GaRpY as well. We'll have to see. But that last map, we'll just have to say that GaRpY needs to try and contest the items better, maybe a little bit earlier, but also needs to be careful on his awareness, because I think with the Sorlag in that last map, he got behind them a couple of times, which just literally changed everything in the course of the game.
Well, he might have a little something up his sleeve here, as GaRpY's down one map early, slippery slope, and Exile is sleepy and slidey, icy cold. As GaRpY needs to pull something out of his hat here. Gets the Mega right off the spawn. Does have Inject, saving that for a rainy day, and here comes a quick fight from cypher. Just a lot of shotgun damage. Good rail as well, and the Inject finally has to come out from GaRpY. Taking so much damage early on. Pressure from cypher, 66 HP right off the bat. GaRpY gets no time to relax. Good return rail. Ooh, that rail was so close. You can tell cypher's feeling it right now.
Yeah, he certainly is, especially after that first map. When you manage to beat someone with that kind of defensive attitude towards a map and then be able to actually take him down with ease, it was very, very difficult. GaRpY, though, he needs to try and recuperate here if he can. That light's coming up below in rail very shortly, but just needs to hope to the life of him that cypher does not find him. But he has gone through, managed to pick up the light, almost fully recovered here. The Mega is coming up in the next 6 seconds, and Anarchy, a very good pick on this map, I would say. You know, I've seen a lot of players use it. Wouldn't say it's fully part of the meta, but I think we've seen a lot of players establish Anarchy quite well on Exile. As you can see, still got quite a while until that Inject comes out. Here's Railable. Let's watch out in case cypher does drop down. But look at the stack advantage cypher has. It's huge. In comparison, just trying to wait for the next light. Hopefully get the next one if you can. But cypher's already waiting for him to go through that telly. And GaRpY's just done a great job just trying to recover, making sure that it doesn't take him out so early. And it looks like we'll have to see what GaRpY could do here if he does try and attempt to contest that Mega, as the Heavy won't be up for another 20 seconds.
Hats off to GaRpY for staying alive. not giving up the frag. Great rocket to getting closer to evening up the stack. Still has some work to do. There's the inject, a little bit of insurance as he's going to try and fight for this heavy. Needs to get more damage. 45, not a bad start. A little bit of LG to try and put the pressure on. Swaps to rail, misses. And now this is really, really bad. 64 HP. He's got to try and make the great escape yet again. As cypher putting on a little bit of pressure, but he's just going to maintain map control. And it's just a matter of time. You can't help but feel like GaRpY's getting zoned out of these items. He's taking so much damage. And GaRpY, oh, he gets caught out in the bat cave, and cypher says, no more. I've let you live long enough. I want that frag. And at 230, he takes it, almost attacks on another one right off the spawn. These rails from cypher, relentless. Oh, GaRpY.
Oh, yeah.
Very scary. Very, very scary.
It was for me. I'm scared for the life of GaRpY at the moment. He was stuck in a bad place at a bad time, and with cypher having high advantage, he can either stay there where he likes, or, you know, you can just push straight in and try and catch him, which is what cypher wanted to do. He wanted to be the one to force out the first mistake. cypher, 2-0 in the lead, waiting for the next mega, which is coming up now. Let's pick it up nicely. The items are segregated once again. He will be going straight for that heavy. But you see, GaRpY is trying to contest for it, but you can see cypher already was there. Decided to pressure GaRpY first instead of going for the heavy. Kind of threw off GaRpY a little bit. But what is cypher going to do next? He's going to portal through, maybe see if he can at least take him out again, which he might be able to, as GaRpY now doesn't have that inject to his name, but it doesn't matter, as cypher has already taken him down. Already a 4-0 lead. Could get taken down here. He's only 36 HP, and cypher just finishes him off again, says, no you don't, I am going to extend my lead again. 5-0 now. It's only been 3.5 minutes here for you.
That was the closest GaRpY got to a frag, getting cypher low, but the shotgun prevails for cypher as he's going to stack back up. To add to this lead. As you said, 5-0. Looking a little rough for GaRpY here. Plenty of time, but cypher, I mean, he's just relentless with the pressure. He's not going to give up anything.
cypher now just biding his time to see where GaRpY could be contesting the item from. You can see that GaRpY wasn't going for it, just hoping to get a rail through his travels. Didn't really do much as he missed it. And now cypher, as he picks up this heavy, it's not looking too good for GaRpY. He needs to try and get away and get the weapons in his arsenal. Pick up the lights if he can. Does have an inject though, like he said before for that insurance. And cypher's still trying to keep him away. But look at this, so he's eating up all the lights. It's just not really giving GaRpY any room to breathe. He's not really putting a lot of map pressure close range. So he's keeping his distance, making sure that GaRpY doesn't have any kind of way to get back into this game, and it's already 7-0. And this is why I was a bit worried about GaRpY's map pick on Exile, because cypher is really, really good on this map. I don't think he's even lost on this map yet. And every time he's played this map, the scoreline has been quite a heavy deficit, but he seems to just know it so well, and he's been practicing on it so much that he's established such great dominance on against every opponent he's played against. As GaRpY might be able to get his first rack here. What a beautiful rail to then get the mega, get the light, recuperate again, and see if he can get another frag to his name against GaRpY. As GaRpY goes straight in, inject comes up. Will he be able to stay alive? No, he doesn't, and cypher gets the heavy as well.
And this is just so frustrating. GaRpY's got to be thinking, why won't you die? As the inject, as we said, a little bit of insurance, but it looks more like American healthcare as it's just costing him way too much. GaRpY, again, already off the spawn, so weak. 12-0 for cypher, just throwing it on. He's going to go for 20, Lethal. He's going for 20.
Yeah, GaRpY needs to be careful with his movement. It's become a little bit more predictable in the later stage of this map. cypher's rails and his rockets and his predictability has just been off the chain. But then again, GaRpY gets one of his own, but it's not going to help that cypher just retaliated with that rail as well. And cypher just being patient, biding his time. He's now got a 12-0 lead. Doesn't need to do too much as of yet. Just waiting to contest that mega. Just doing it from an obscure angle, which GaRpY probably didn't expect. He's waiting to see if GaRpY is going to push for it, but they're both going to push for it at the same time. I'm not sure if GaRpY actually managed to get it. Yes, he did, and GaRpY is the one who got that first frag to his name. But 40, he's got a lot of time to try and work with here. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. It's looking quite difficult here.
Oh, but this is it. This is where champions are made, as the rocket won't land in time. He does get the damage, but I thought he was going to be able to make him crater a little bit more, and now he's stuck. This should be a frag. Easy. Good rocket on target. He's going to need to pick up the pace ever so gently here. Inject comes out, looking for another rail. Does grab the mega. He's right below him, misses with a little bit of damage, but he has positioning, and there it is, the drop. Good rocket damage. Following up with the shotgun. Not quite enough, but it will force cypher away. And it's interesting that GaRpY will be able to push on this. Is he going to be able to make it back here a little bit early, but he just needs frags, and cypher just making the best out of a terrible situation, hitting these rails. Almost gets another angle, does GaRpY, as he's going to lay an egg on this Mega, and every second that goes to waste is in favor of cypher. Fantastic rail from GaRpY there, but he needs to close out, and he needs to close out quick. Quite the deficit. There's the LG tickle. 9 frags down, less than 3 minutes. Lethal, do you believe in a thing called love? There's the steal. Nope, it's gone.
No. I was going to say no anyway, 40, don't worry. I have love for GaRpY, but, you know, with this kind of deficit, you know, you could do it on a map like Exile, but I don't think so at the moment. You know, I think the trouble with GaRpY, there's a couple of times where it wasn't that he mistimed the heavy, he just didn't know the exact timings, but he only had a rough inkling of what it could be. But cypher's just been all over him here. You can see that cypher just eating up all the lights as well. And we take a look at the item control. 22 items for cypher, 8 for GaRpY. Kind of tells the tale, really. It's been very, very difficult for GaRpY to try and even micromanage some of these items, even with the mobility of the Anarchy 2. But 9 frags, you know, just under 2 minutes, highly unlikely. But we can see what we can do. We'll see if we can keep the score respectable.
GaRpY will do his damnedest here. As cypher just finding these rail angles, just being a pest, and it's working. There's the inject again. cypher wants the LG. GaRpY trying to hold on for dear life. There's the rocket swap in the nicks of time. 5 to 13. I think this one is done and dusted, but GaRpY could put on a show here. Looking for rail angles through the telly. Well done, but he takes one back, and again, GaRpY's so weak. A little bit too early for the Mega. Could have been punished, but cypher, I mean, he knows he kind of has this one in the bag. All the pressure's on GaRpY. He's got to make moves. He's got to try and find all of these frags. 8 in a minute 10? I mean, I'm a believer, but I don't know, Lethal. I don't know.
Yeah, there's miracles, and when there's, you know, almost physically impossible at this rate. So I don't think it's going to happen. GaRpY, like I said, massive stack. He can maybe try and at least keep the score respectable. He did his damnedest to at least try and make something happen, but he just couldn't. Even with the mobility of the Anarchy and, you know, the inject to try and push on through, didn't really make too much difference here. cypher's just all over him. Like, what was the score at one point? Like, literally 12-0. It's just, you know, even with the heavy, it wasn't that he mistimed it. He just don't know the exact timing of it. He had a rough guess, but cypher was just contesting the items so well throughout the entire course of the game. Good rails there from GaRpY. Again, just too little too late, as he's just going to try and keep the score respectable. And looking at the item control, yeah, 15 for GaRpY, 22 for cypher, and cypher's almost got 900 damage more to his name in comparison. But cypher looking very, very good on Exile. If I played against cypher, or anyone playing against cypher, you'd have to watch out for him on this map.
Yeah, brutal. A really, really strong display from cypher on map number 2, following up map number 1. So the series, just like that, in cypher's pocket, looking for that 3-0. GaRpY, hopefully, he warmed up enough to put up a little bit better of a fight on Ruins. He could still get that map, put some money in his pocket, but cypher's looking to dominate and press on for that 3-0. So, Chad, be careful how you predict the next one. Let's not get crazy.
Well, this is it. 737 more damage compared to GaRpY. I mean, you can see 58% rails for cypher. Cypher was just in no man's land every single time. Was just going in with that rail, no problem. Close range, long range, medium range, any kind of range. Seemed to take him out with ease, even with the mobility of actually being able to get away. GaRpY, you know, made a little bit of a comeback towards the end, but I kind of feel like it's more at the start, again, around the 2 to 3 minute mark, where you saw cypher had a big lead. GaRpY started becoming a little bit more predictable. You saw that on that rail spawn, he would just go straight for the telly for the Mega instead of maybe dropping down for the rail and go for the light armor. It's those 50-50 spawn traps I was talking about with GaRpY before. Sometimes he makes the kind of easy, quick decision, the predictable decision. It's like, for example, if you're on Deep Embrace, you know, the predictable decision would be to go straight for the rail, or instead of going, you know, bottom mid, or maybe like for this, in this instance on Exile, instead of going for the rail and going for the lights, at least you've got a weapon to your name and the light armor. He decided to try and go for the telly and having a potential chance of contesting the Mega, and then cypher was just every single time top mid. And, you know, being top mid around that Mega area, he can see the entire part of where he's going to spawn. You know, if he wants to go for rail, he's got eyes on him. And the makes matters worse is the fact that if he's going to teleport up top for the Mega, he's straight in front of him. He's already got the weapons in his arsenal. GaRpY hasn't really got anything to work with apart from maybe going back and then trying to contest a heavy, which was never up at the time. So, you know, some decisions which could have been different. You saw cypher was always hovering around that rail room first and then would pop down and get it. So just a few decision-making problems here and there and positioning. But apart from that, trying to make a little bit of a comeback. But I always even said it before the series started, you know, choosing Exile against a player like cypher, you know, it's not good. Not good in the slightest.
It's a rough one. But GaRpY, you know, in chat, is GaRpY's biggest fan. So he believes in himself. He said he's going to put up this last one, and we'll see on Ruins if he could put this one up and put some money in his pocket. Cypher, again, looking for that 3-0 to kind of bounce back and establish himself, gain some confidence. We'll see if GaRpY can put up this last map for himself. Last chance saloon kind of situation here. Cypher's looking strong. GaRpY's got a lot of work to do on this one.
He certainly has. I'd say cypher is still quite good in Ruins, but then again, so is GaRpY. Depends on the scenario of the champions. We've got GaRpY, who's going to be using the Ranger. Cypher with the BJ. No Eisen nor Sorlag or any of those kind of champions, so that's going to be a little bit of a surprise. And we'll see what they can do, as we are going to start in the position of GaRpY once again to see what he can do and see if he can get a map to his name, or if cypher will get a nice clean 3-0 sweep.
GaRpY making his way over to the Rockets, has all the weaponry he needs, as does cypher. It's just a matter of time before we see bloodshed here. There's the drop down, rails exchange from both players. cypher wants to pull out another weapon just to give himself a little bit of an edge here, and that's going to scare off GaRpY just enough for the time being. So knowing dual wield is down gives GaRpY an opportunity here, but cypher doing a good job of grabbing the vials that are closest to him to try and get that dual wield back up as soon as possible. cypher making home base down at that heavy early. Does not want to get caught off guard checking all the corners. He doesn't want to get coolered here. Dual wield already back up. This heavy is secured by cypher. Mega's going to go GaRpY's way. Items traded. A relatively slow start here on Ruins.
Yeah, GaRpY, he knows that in his region, every single map counts here. So if he can get at least one map against cypher, obviously won't be particularly happy with the series loss, but at least a map to his name will help massively, as both players are directly above and underneath each other. Very similar stat. GaRpY taking a slight risk here and decided to go for the heavy instead. Definitely had an inkling, knowing from those audio cues, that there's a possibility that cypher is up top. And GaRpY still has the orb, which he can use to try and catch up to wherever cypher is going to travel to, depending on how weak he is. But this is a very, very slow game. Definitely one of the slowest we could have throughout the day. But GaRpY's just maintaining this tie. Wants to choose the right moment and the right time to engage with cypher, because he knows how good cypher is and how accurate he can be. First rail, very good. And he's got the Mega too. So this could be his opportunity to also pick up the Mega later on. And what GaRpY's going to do, but he's going to go straight in, but not the correct weapon to have, and he's taking the rail. This is cypher's time to try and push in, but as I say that, he's actually missed a rail, so both of them on a very similar stack. cypher only a little bit lower in comparison, but GaRpY's thought, no, I'm not going to drop down. I'm not going to take such a huge risk, a huge gamble. He's going to eat up both the lights instead, which is good, which means he now can go contest the Mega. He will get it just before cypher, and cypher realizes that. He knows that the timing isn't segregated enough for him to go for both. Decides to back away. He eats a rail. But look at this, though. A few of the rockets have been missed from GaRpY, but cypher's still got the bigger stack. Oh, and the rocket after all that, 40. Deary, deary me. And now what's GaRpY going to do here? Is he going to try and go for the trade, or is he going to back away? Looks like he won't, as the stacks are almost equal.
cypher just so good defensively. GaRpY trying to force the issue. cypher hitting a great rocket rail combo. Takes that first frag 3 minutes in, and that's got to be frustrating for GaRpY. As he thought he was onto something there, but cypher shuts it down. Missed rail, and cypher does not miss with his reply. Hits another one as well. GaRpY's got to be careful. cypher almost going 3 for 3 there, as GaRpY tries to fire off one more before he makes his grand escape, but now he's stuck in this awkward position here. Stuck in the telly room. cypher knows exactly where he is, just lobbing tri-bolt at every exit. The reply from GaRpY, not too bad. Right in the face, that rocket almost with the dire orb combo. If that would have connected, that would have been everything for GaRpY. He's hanging on for dear life, needs to be careful. cypher doing a great job of putting on the pressure. He's going to deny all the items on the map now.
Oh, this is not good for GaRpY. Did a great play of theirs, is unpredictable, just hiding in that tri-bolt room, just trying to wait for at least Cypher to push any angle. As soon as he pushed towards the tri-bolt area where the light was, he decided to back away, and that was his opportunity to try and push on. But look how weak GaRpY is. Only on 100 HP. Cypher's just daring him to go for that light, which he does. And now he's stuck in courtyard.
Beautiful.
Two beautiful rails there from Cypher. And he picks up the Mega. His stack is just at no end almost. Is he going to pick up the heavy? And GaRpY is in deep, deep trouble here for you.
Just really good awareness from Cypher, knowing that he's taken certain resources and forcing GaRpY to a certain part of the map and then posting up with the railgun, making it look easy 2-0. What a rail from GaRpY. Can he finish? And he does! He's still got some fight left in him. 2-1. He doesn't want to go down easy. GaRpY making his way back to the Mega. Cypher trying to cess with rockets of his own here, making it a pain for GaRpY to pick this up, but GaRpY gets in on it, and now he could drop down and grab the heavy. So map control goes to GaRpY. Cypher a little bit on the back foot, but that's not going to stop him, is it?
Wouldn't think so much. But after that rail, I don't think he will, as he's dropping straight down. GaRpY's going straight in after him. He's going to see if he can stop him from going up the staircase. Oh, a couple of missed rails, and it looks like both of them are trying to gamble with their lives in terms of this third map. Both of them were available. Both of them missed, but the orb comes out. He was going to try. Oh, wow. Look at that rail from GaRpY, you absolute fiend. As he picks up the Mega now, he's going to try and drop down and see if he can get another one to his name. But Cypher's already managed to slowly get away. But GaRpY can't fight this fully. He needs to try and back off and get a few of the lights if he can.
A little bit of improv there from GaRpY. Wanted to Dire Orb in and close out the gap, but the rocket sends him flying. The rail bails him out. Tied at 2. Cypher gets him down to 10. He does hit a rail on the way out, but Cypher will pick up that frag. GaRpY doing good damage on his way out, but the Mega's going to be up, so he can't really push off the spawn with LG. And he's going to wait with arms wide open, but that rail, Cypher's just too smart. Takes the peek, nails the shot. Dire Orb and rail in GaRpY's hands. Can he make the combo happen? A little bit of LG. Is he going to finish with Dire Orb? A little bit of distraction. That's going to be enough 22 HP as GaRpY takes back that frag, but he's so incredibly weak.
Oh, that distraction for the frag. Perfect for GaRpY. Yeah, he's just trying to get one more if he can, but no, he won't. Cypher says, no, that's it, mate. You've had a few too many rails to your name. I'm going to have one to myself. 4-3 now in favor of Cypher. This is definitely a game I did not expect. There's a few times where Cypher had a huge advantage and managed to just, let it go so easily, and GaRpY's also done the same thing, but both of them have some great rails, but Cypher's got to be careful. He could get trapped in this courtyard if he's in deep trouble. But it looks like it's going to try and rocket him away if he can. Just waiting for GaRpY to push on. But GaRpY's done a great job just being so patient here with the LG. He's taking so much damage. All comes out. GaRpY manages to tie things up with 3 minutes left remaining. Picks up the Mega. And this could be another fracture to his name if he pushes on. Great first rail. Needs to try and capitalize on this if he can.
GaRpY, a man of his word, making things interesting on this last map. 4-4 with a little under 3 minutes remaining. GaRpY sensed a disturbance in the force there as he hits that flick rail. Very weak. Could take one more rail and then a tickle. Needs to be careful on this fight for Mega, and there's the rail, and now he's just waiting on the tickle. 2 HP. That's going to force him down. Can he grab the heavy in time? Cypher dropping. Doesn't want to give up anything. Missing with that rail as GaRpY with fancy footwork, but he's still so weak. Needs to be careful. Doubles back to the Mega as Cypher left it up, and this is all gravy for GaRpY here. Does miss out on the heavy, but he spots out for light armor. Through the telly goes Cypher, and he finishes that off rather quickly. Just a glimmer of hope there for GaRpY, but 2 minutes left, down by 1, and now he's given up map control. Does double back, picks up his own rocket, and grabs that waiting armor shard. Can he make a play on the Mega here, Lethal? Big rocket from GaRpY. The follow-up is good. Into the Dire Orb is going to be enough, and it is! And the Mega pickup on the way. GaRpY fearless right now as he has to be. Ties it at 5, but he takes the rail right off the bat. He needs to try and maximize damage. He might not live for long, and he can't even deny the heavy, but the rockets are pretty good. But Cypher just pushes him right back down. The minute GaRpY looks like he's getting any kind of momentum, Cypher shuts it down and says, I'm getting my 3-0.
Oh, that was so close. And GaRpY has some great rockets there. But Cypher's just way too stacked in that predicament. Cypher now only on 100 HP, but is trying to restack the best he can. Still got 1 minute and 5 left remaining in order to try and keep away from GaRpY and close out this series. GaRpY is to 1 with the stack advantage, and he has the orb in his back pocket, so he needs to be very wary of where GaRpY could come from. He needs to be super aware on the positioning of GaRpY. Cypher now just staying on his toes. He knows that he's directly above him towards the Mega. He knows at some point GaRpY will have to prioritize the items first. 40 seconds left here for we. And Cypher now doing a great job just keeping his distance, keeping away from him, just making sure he can rail him back when he sees fit. Could be a close one here. 30 seconds left to see if GaRpY can tie things up to make it sudden death.
Oh, he catches him out, Cypher. This is bad. Does hit a good rocket, but GaRpY has to chase. There's the Dire Orb for a little bit of insurance, and Cypher had nowhere to go. GaRpY tying it at 6 with 15 seconds left. Is he going to go for the kill? There's the Mega pickup. Does he hear Cypher down below? Cypher gets that rail. He can play defensive here. So we're going to go into sudden death, just barely missing out on that rail. Almost hitting a follow-up, but no dice for either player here as we're going into sudden death.
Big trouble here for Cypher as GaRpY is stacked up to the eyeballs. Cypher now just down below, just waiting to see what GaRpY could be planning and what his next instinctive is. As the items are perfectly segregated for GaRpY, for plenty of opportunity for him to make a counter-attack on any of the items to contest it. Realises that Cypher's down there, but this could be his chance to actually push in and try and make something happen here. It all comes out, so does the rockets, but the duel comes in.
Wow.
Will he be able to take down Cypher? He's so weak, he needs to try and push on and finish up the... Yes, he does. Just manages to clean Cypher up as he went up the jump pad into the courtyard. GG's from both players. 2-1 in the series for Cypher, but at least GaRpY got a map to his name. That was very, very close, and that could have been one-sided if GaRpY didn't stop him so early on, getting out of control. But damage as well, you know, not really too much difference there, about 160 roughly between the two. But GaRpY always kept it close in terms of the damage output, just could never get the items. But his defensive posture worked to his advantage on numerous occasions. Sometimes he just got away with murder, like on some of the times that Cypher had such a huge stack. But great play from GaRpY, but also great plays from Cypher throughout the entire series.
And the confidence, you know, coming in chat saying, I'm the man, I got this. Shouts to GaRpY for putting up that map. But shouts to Cypher for taking the series 2-1. That's going to be good for him, building that confidence back. But yeah, great display from GaRpY there, hanging in there, not giving up, taking it into sudden death, and handling his business, earning that cup of tea. Shouts to GaRpY. I mean, how can you not love that guy, right? How can you not love both these players? But Cypher comes out on top. That's going to be huge for him. Very, very close set. Very, very close map on that last one. Just so close to his 3-0. Unfortunately, GaRpY steals it away. And yeah, a hell of a first set, Lethal. Hell of a first Valentine's Day set.
It was great. It was very good. You know, we're a little bit worried about the 3-0, but I'm glad that GaRpY managed to get the third and final map to his name in EU region or in any region, really. Every single map counts in the Pro League. It can be a matter of relegation or staying in. It's a lot of things to take into account. But look at the item control. You know, you can see GaRpY has contested the items much better this time around in comparison. I know Ruins is, you know, a larger map, but they are directly underneath each other. It can be a little bit easier to segregate the items, but he did a much better job at making sure to contest them, bully them compared to what Cypher was doing. And there was a few times where GaRpY could have easily been taken down, like when he was in that tribal room with like, what, 25 HP, something like that, and still managed to get away and just been an absolute pain in the backside for Cypher. So well played to Cypher for winning the series, and yeah, good job on GaRpY taking that final map.
Yeah, and shouts to everyone in chat who bet on GaRpY on the last one. You're very, very rich right now, but we still have a full day of love coming your way. The prop bet is, are we going to see the love launcher? We'll see. We're going to take a quick break. We got more Quake action coming right up.